Hey, what's up, you guys? Just want to share a little something with you guys. I just been thinking today about ballads, and as much as I love to play all the fast stuff, all the grooves and everything, all the funky stuff and everything, I especially love to play ballads because there's just something magical and so mystical, whimsical about listening to slow songs. Whether if it's a Disney ballad or a gospel ballad or a love song, there's just something whimsical about it. It just makes you want to just close your eyes and just go off into another world. It's a beautiful feeling. And so I took some time to really analyze ballads from today's music as well as ballads from the 90s and the 80s and the 70s. And I noticed that, the music from back in the day is like the polar opposite of what we have today because today's ballads are pretty much more like, just those basic triad chords that we hear in a lot of music today. A lot of the ballads we have today, it sounds like the same piano player. It's just very simplistic, the same triad chords. And that's nice, but it's also boring, to be honest. It's just boring. And so for me, if I were to play, that, I would switch it up, like just adding a little flavor to it. And so I'm pretty much familiar with the saying, less is more. You know, for me, I believe when it comes to that, for me, it's about being very strategic and very methodical. In terms of what it is that you choose to throw into it. And so being very methodical in terms of what it is that you want to add and making sure that you put it in the right places so that it makes sense. And so I'm a firm believer of that. And so, yeah, I feel that, some of the music today is very simple. Simplicity is good, but it can be a little too simple to the point where it kind of sounds like all, kids sing songy, you know. And so that becomes boring. And for me, I love children's music, but if I were to play, children's music, I would just switch it up a little bit. I would just switch it up if I was playing something like I'll come up with something like that for like Where is Dumpkin or Farrah Jacques or something like that. That's just me. That's just me putting just my own, spin on it. Like, like how would Rodney Skinner, play this song? What would he do that's a little different? And so that's the thing, because each and every one of us, as I said before, each and every one of us has something different and unique to bring to the table, you know, and it's all to help make the world a better place. And so if you go to a buffet and all you see is fried chicken, it's like, it's like, don't you have anything else? Like I'm in a mood for steak, I'm in a mood for fish. And so you got to have a variety of things. And so for music, from a musical perspective, it's important to have a wide variety. It just seems like these days, everybody is just trying to be the same. And so there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with going against the grain and doing something different and taking a chance. There's nothing wrong with that. And don't worry about what people say or think. Just let them go on their way and you just focus on what it is that you're doing. Because if you feel that what you're doing is the right thing and that it's inspiring somebody, keep doing it. keep doing it because you have a contribution to make, you know. And so that's the thing, you know. Each and every one of us are here, and we want to help make the world a better place, you know. So that's the thing, and so for ballads, you know, for me, you know, with ballads from the '90s, you know, listening to ballads from the '90s, it just has this, you know, really bigger than life kind of feeling. You know, it's just so beautiful, and the lyrics and everything, how it's presented in terms of the instrumentation, in terms of, you know, just the level of dynamics, and just telling a story. You know, how each and every instrument tells a story. You know, and it's just a beautiful thing. You know, and so listening to ballads from back in the day, you know, a few in particular. One of my favorites in particular is so you guys pretty much know what that one is. That's one of my favorites. You know, there's just something about that song in particular. You know, from the very day I heard Whitney sing it, you know, it just stuck with me. You know, I remember my mother owning the soundtrack to The Bodyguard, and when I first heard that song, it just really stuck with me. You know, ever since I heard Whitney's voice and just the instrumentation of the song, the strings that came in and everything, and just how beautifully packaged that song was. You know, um, Dolly Parton is just a wonderful songwriter, and you know, Whitney's arrangement of that song was it was just next level. It was next level, you know. And of course, you know, Dolly Parton, she has her own style, you know, and her original, you know, of that song, you know, it's very different from Whitney's arrangement, you know, but each has their own different style. You know, each has their own signature, you know, and so that's the thing, you know, you got to have your own signature. You know, what is it about the song? How do you approach the song differently? You know, what would you do different? You know, and so that's the thing. And so that's something that I always, you know, bear in mind. You know, if somebody asks me to play a song, you know, I'm gonna play it the way I hear it in my head. You know, I'm whatever it is that, you know, I'm hearing, you know, I just I just play it out. And so that's the thing, you know, and so and all that, you know, all that comes from spending alone time with your instrument, you know, just spending alone time in the quiet, and just playing around with different things, and just, you know, if you come across a phrase that sounds catchy, like, what is this? You know, and the more you play it, the more you practice it, the more it just becomes stuck with you, you know. And before you know it, you just end up using it in almost everything that you do, you know. And so that's cool, you know. And so it's a wonderful thing to have that time, you know, together with your instrument, because it gives it gives the both of you a chance to really, you know, to really bring out the best in each other, you know. And so that's the thing. And so each and every one of us has our own, you know, approach, you know, to songs, you know. And so that's a beautiful thing. It just shows how unique and different that we are as individuals, as human beings, you know, because each and every one of us has our own likes and dislikes. Each and every one of us has our own style, you know, fashion wise, you know, and even in, you know, in our playing, you know, we all have our own, you know, approach, our own different style. So never be ashamed of that, you know, because there's only one you know, and as long as you continue to be yourself, then everyone else will love you just the way you are. And I believe that. I'm a true believer of that. And so, you guys, I am so excited to share much more with you guys. And I hope you guys got something out of this, you know, and so make something happen.